Greetings! My name is Joe Bob, and I am very peeved. Welcome back to Mask of the Rose. Yeah. Last time, we relived the fall of London, and we learned that, to my great shock and surprise, the Masters of the Bazaar are up to something incredibly sketchy. Also, we did a lot of flirting, as usual. Let's see. Where's their exclamation mark here? Let's see. Offer Archie stories about the Masters that might shock the ordinary Londoner. Right. Let's see. He's just undecided. Alright, sure, why not? Can I have more than one story at a time? I'm not. How do the stories work? Okay, yeah. Okay. So. I still hate this font. Underground Synagogue. Look for just census fillers. Census Horatia. Could you do my seduction of Grizz? Discuss theories of misbehavior with Grizz. In my romance with Archie. Discuss theories of misbehavior with Archie. Let's discuss theories of ministry misbehavior with Grizz. She seems in a position to be aware of certain things. God, I look silly. Nice badge. Raise the questions of Page's intentions. What do you think Mr. Page's intends for London? What is it doing? What does it want? It's trying to save us from disaster. We would have starved without the Masters. There's no way we could have found enough food to feed everyone. That doesn't answer the question. It's just it's a bit naive. Out of the goodness of its heart, there's nothing else it wants from London? What's it really trying to get out of the census? People worry because they are cloaked, and because their rules can be a trifle peculiar. Both reasons to worry. There are times I've wondered about Mr. Page's intent myself. But there's always turned out to be a good reason. No, there's always turned out to be a good excuse. For instance, I didn't quite understand why they waited so long after the fall to begin distributing stores. But I hadn't thought, but it's not at all easy to distribute so many things through so many parts of London. Frankly, ridiculous on my part to not have realized. I'd never ask that question now. But it's the wrong question to begin with. The question you should be asking is, why did they have enough food prepared to feed all of London? Why did they have that? They must have already begun stockpiling the supplies before London ever fell. How did they know London was going to fall? Or why did they think they would need those supplies? In any case, it does want something in exchange, but it's hardly any cost to us. Just the stories of love and devotion, whatever form they take. Why, though? Through the census or in other ways. I'm not asking that because I don't know. I actually do know why. But I'm asking that because, well, no one speaks for a moment. Whatever. Very well. Till we meet again, then. My feelings are stronger than ever. About which part? Some of us are pages, or... oh, whatever. I shake my head to clear it. Illuminations are gone. All is as it was. Just imagine another errand before supper. Action. Collected love stories. Yes. Let's see. Collected love stories. Unsafe and predictable, it sought to gather the only possible bulwark. Tales of love and devotion. That doesn't make sense. What about... just this? Hope for power? The collected all our love stories, the better to manage everyone who lived there. There's logic to that, but... no, I don't think the purpose is knowable at the moment. I wish I could save. It's annoying that this game doesn't have a save function, although apparently that's not actually because of, like, game balance reasons. It's not like an intentional part of the design. It's just that the game is still sort of in development, and apparently they have some issue. They have some issues with, like, making certain that saves would be compatible forwardly. And this is a solution, not a great solution, but it's at least a better excuse than nonsense about, oh, it's the game balance or whatever. Let's see. Discuss theories of ministry misbehavior with Archie. Sure. Maybe I'll change. This one is a bit ridiculous, though. Let's just go with that. I don't know. I like the hat. Hang on, let me see. I look like I belong on the dock, and I might speak my mind too much. The hat and badge, however, say I have power despite it all. Alright. Interesting how that outfit notes change. It's kind of a neat mechanic. Well, not really a mechanic, but a neat little bit of detail. Yeah. Archie gives me a meaningful nod, as though we were siblings in a secret society. Yeah, oh, it's always a good time to flirt. My next comment is a bit war. I'm getting more familiar with the way he looks when he's noticing me. I've not lost a patient today. And there's no one or even in need of confinement. So I'll count that to the good. That's what he does for such patients. What do you do for a patient like that? All I can do is try to calm them a bit. There's no hope of getting them to bedlam. But there's a man that comes round and takes them away. I've never seen him at his work. Sometimes I go to see a patient again and find that he's been and gone. So he knows where they go. Do you know where they go? The patients that are taken away? Nah, they don't come back. And for the most part, there's no looking for them. That's a bit sketchy, isn't it? If they have a family, the family doesn't want them back. We're not Mr. Pages and the love stories. The Masters are gathering love stories, or at least Mr. Pages is. The others may be working on it as well. I wonder what the purpose of that might be. I suppose it puts us all at their mercy. But I would think there are easier ways. They already have our food. Indeed. Curious, is it not? They mean to starve us. They'd kill everyone's beloved anyhow. Maybe they want the stories for themselves. Yes, that is an idea. Perhaps the stories aren't necessarily a means to the end, but the end themselves when it comes to taking over London. As if London were a treasure house of a very peculiar kind. Indeed. I have a friend in Fleet Street who will want these. Oh, sorry, that's him. I have a friend in Fleet Street who will want these. Pays good money for what he can print. I'll split the price between us. It won't mind me using the rest on medicines, I know. It's not as though I could go to Archie's buyer myself, of course. No one speaks for a moment. Let's see. Tell unnerving stories about meeting Grizz's employer. Grizz took me to the ministry. Her employer was a cloak like a highwayman, keeps offices like a solicitor. Two forms of robbers. I found it all rather alarming. I'm not sure Grizz is wise to work there. I'm near like the sound of him. I think of you more than is sensible for a friend. That's an odd segue. Alright. But I guess the whole shared distaste thing is a good icebreaker. I think about you constantly too. I confess I'm glad to hear it. I had a mind to say something earlier, but I thought it might trouble you if you didn't feel the same. Considering we were living in the same place. Though it might be I'm ahead of the fair. You do mean feelings of a warm nature. It's kindness, dedication to medicine. Well... Well, my character in Fallen... I know, it's funny, my character in Fallen London is a doctor. Or at least he was before the fall. Less, there's not... And there's not really any less call for doctors after the fall. Just different... Well, anyways. Talk about its dedication to medicine. It's something I can very easily respect. In real life, well, never mind. It's the care you have for the people in the neighborhood. I've not seen anything quite like it. Ah, you have. Horatio and Theophilus take care of folks as much as they can. Even Hajit does, if you count scowling at folk and then stabbing all the beasties in the street. You stand out to me. I'll not argue with it. I'll not argue it with you then. Probably wise. Horatio makes the house feel like family. I cannot say I mind that. But I was seeing you for more than a sibling. And it seemed like Grizz might have a feeling for you. Might not be wise to come between Grizz and what she wants. It's not wise to come between me and what I want either. Whatever you might think, I find you vastly preferable. Hey, no accounting for taste. Now, the weather has been quite something, has it not? If you can call that weather. Alright. Prepare for supper. Perhaps I'll actually eat it this time. There are a few minutes of preparation. What was the voice I gave to her? Did you see that woman? The one that came yesterday asking for doctoring? Hey, what should it be but nightmares again? See about a complaint. Who is she? A captain's wife. Her husband was at sea when London came down. She dreams that he comes back to her, but he's near the same when he does. He's devoted himself to the Fathom King, cannot speak, only sing. Did you do anything, love? Not certain I'm getting her voice right. I've only got a dram of laudanum left, and no more for a few days. There's fuel enough for the moment, if you need to start a new tincture. There's something else I've been brewing up, so to say, but in case it does not work, He takes something out of his pocket. A lump wrapped in paper or leaves, just long enough for Horatio to see. Opium. Goodness. Well, whatever you got it, wherever you got it, don't let anyone else see it. Don't let anyone see it before you've had a chance to use it. There's a woman who comes to the door just about every morning. Too many children, not enough food. Sometimes I have a penny or some old stew for her. Listen. And this morning, I sat by the fire and didn't go to answer it. After a time, she stopped knocking and just stood sobbing on the doorstep. Shit. Suggest a better approach. What does that mean? I don't know what that would mean. I don't know what approach I'd be suggesting. Whatever. I could always... When was the last time I saved? 11 minutes ago? Yeah. Can always just exit and redo everything I did if I need to. Couldn't you arrange something for her with the neighbors? Or find someone who could take her on? You know, we barely eat as it is. Okay, hang on. Here we go. I got a bit of cash. Here. It's not a great deal, but for tomorrow. I retrieve the pennies from my pocket and pass them over. Thank you. I'll say you sent them for her. Assured Horatio that I don't need credit. That's not necessary at all. It can come from you. She'll be glad to know that there are others that care, kiddo. Leave a mess for Horatio. That'd be a bit rude. I chewed diligently. The first few days weren't bad. People had food in their pantry still. Old loaves of bread, leftover joints, roots, and jams. But nothing new was coming into the market. No new fish, no vegetables from the farms. There were no more mushrooms on my plate. Alright, here's the day. Well, fortunately, I've still got those the things that I've still got 5 pennies left for the back rent. That's good. Days since the fall. 11 days remain in the season of confessions. What is that symbol after confessions? It's a bit odd. Another morning, another newspaper. This morning's lies open on the table. Masters announce increased biscuit rations for hungry Londoners. Joy. As for the secrets Archie and I have made known, they do not have a headline. Not yet. There was only a small item in the back of the paper. Well, it's still mostly unknown. More questions than answers. Okay. Alright, here we go. Pay Horatio the first half of what I owe her. Horatio doesn't attend much to what I wear. As an indifference no doubt born of seeing us in all states. Oh my. I find Horatio in the basement, taking inventory of our supplies. The night London fell, all Horatio's lodgers gathered in the cellar. Horatio led the hymns while we waited for dawn. Around 3 in the afternoon, we admitted to ourselves that there wasn't going to be a dawn, today or any other day. Hello there, General Kenobi. I trust you're keeping healthy. Since the fall, we have all taken to greeting one another as invalids on the verge of death. Bring up my recent memory of Thracia. Yeah, sure. I was remembering us all together on the night of the fall, telling each other it was some sort of engineering accident that would be put right. No chance of that now. Ajit says the Besum's neighbors vanished overnight. They'd been talking of making a run for it, just striking out north and seeing what they found. Not enough to eat around here, it seems. Striking out north, huh? Yes. I imagine they were quite hungry. They were going north. I believe I owe you something, as a matter of fact. I pat through the coins in a jingling handful. There's a moment's fellow feeling. Thracia and I are thinking alike. She scoops the money into the pocket of her skirt. Alright. Let's see, discover how much more I owe her. I know that I can't cover all my previous debts. It would be as much again. The rest will have to wait. I will have to do a few more odd jobs first. I'm glad to have this. There was a brief lull in the conversation. Lull. Ask Thracia about her work. Simply ask whether she does anything else besides run the household. You don't have any secret business besides running the household, do you? The house has been my business a long time now. My father left it to me. He bought it so I'd have a good place to live. He didn't want to leave it up to whether I'd find a husband. Which I haven't. The butcher at the corner used to ask me, but I think he wanted more room for his children. I'd best be off. The drying won't take itself in. Nope. This is London, not Polydream. She and I should be friends. My opinion remains to be seen. I shake my head to clear it. The ruminations are gone. All is as it was. That's gonna be a recurring line, isn't it? Alright. Action. Advertise lodging. I don't think I'm not certain Pages is going to be doing much of that. Let's see, I can recall the past. I remember the day of the fall in fragments. There are a few moments that I'm always drawn back to. Memories that stand for everything else that happened. There are things I sometimes remember from that night that cannot have happened. Impossible things. If I concentrate, I can recall. Lucian just before the fall. Archie. Who's Lucian? It wasn't the night of the fall. It was a little earlier, when we were still on the surface. Just a few days before. I saw a party of drunk men, most older and quite distinguished, but accompanied by a younger officer. He was the most drunk of all, but he kept talking about warning everyone. He was obsessed with some grotesque impending disaster. What disaster? Something to do with theft and darkness. I can't recall now. A conversation half overheard, half a street away. But the end is that the other men got tired of his insistences and his drunkenness. They hoisted him under his arms and carried him half-resisting into one of the houses across the street from Chapman's. That is, into a house that is no longer there. Curious, is it not? Tell Hajit what I know about Lucian's fate. Yeah. Lucian was his significant other. That's what it was. Hajit likes the theory weighing his gift. He might take that as encouragement. I should change. Oh. You're looking well? That'll be it, gauche, considering I'm about to tell him about his significant other. Alright, come straight to the point. I'm here for a reason. I tell Harjit the story of what I saw when Lucian was drunk. Tell me everything. Was he angry? Hurt? Did he strike anyone? Could you hear who it was he wanted to warn? I explain everything I can. Then he's beyond my help, beyond reach. Well said. You remember things I've forgotten. The building might still be there, if approached rightly. Sometimes, one can find one's way around the fold. But it's hard to find places I never saw in the first place. Interest. Listen neutrally. From a certain point of view, I am one of Lucian's personal effects. A thing that should not be here if he did not exist. A thing that might be edited out of the map in time. Yes, like a block that doesn't exist. I think when I forget him, I will also vanish. Yes, unlike all the weird nonsense that happens in Pathologic, I do actually have knowledge about this sort of stuff. Intimate knowledge. Blocks that don't exist. Things that aren't real and yet can be made real. Or vice versa. Right you are then, of course. I dread the thought of being swept away. Would you cease to exist? Die? Or only go back to the surface? There are stories in the newspaper. Apocryphal or not, I don't know. Of people who after a period in the nav found themselves walking in some sunlit field above. Maybe I would be in the Punjab again, back among my own people. They say Duleep Singh has gone back there. With London gone and the Queen fallen below, there was nothing to prevent him from returning to Lahore. Is that how you pronounce that?
Lahore.
No, Lahore. Perhaps he is even now restoring our empire to its former state. So you want to go back? Wanna go back, I wanna go back to a time I was still on the track. A few months ago, I wanted nothing more, but my love for Lucian was also so imperative. If the cost of my homecoming was to forget him, I am not so sure I could have brought myself to do it. Take a darkly sympathetic view of matter. Thank Harjit for trusting me. I'm glad you told me that. You're welcome. Let him tell me whatever he likes while he walks his round. Ask how the neighborhood is doing. All well on the streets? Every day I walk a little further without getting lost. Every day I can walk a little further without getting lost, but sometimes I lose a place again. Do you recall the second-hand clothes man who used to be around the corner? Probably. Yeah. At first I thought the shop was destroyed, but it's moved 2 streets away now. The whole building. Consider the alarming results. Yes. It's almost as if the whole city is being twisted around a terrible edifice at its center. I hope no one was crossing the shop threshold at the time. I can't imagine that would be good for the health. I haven't found any half-bodies in the street. This may not be conclusive, however. Fresh meat does not sit out long. You should visit me more often. Accompany me on my rounds through the neighborhood. I can show you some things you might find interesting. Yeah, indicate my interest, but only in friendship. He seems like a person that will be a very good friend. I think well of you. I don't want to give the wrong idea. With that understood, I'd be happy to. I will look out for you. There are new curiosities every day, and bits of town keep rearranging themselves. I found my way to somewhere you might like. It's an easier route than it ought to be. I think perhaps there's an error in the alignment of the streets. Perhaps not an error, perhaps simply... the clock pleases me. Ah yes, the House of Chimes. As they call it. Or at least they will call it that. But we know it by a different name, don't we? A name that shan't be forgotten. A finger pointing at nothing. Sometimes you can hear the river creatures singing here, but mostly I like to enjoy the ruin. We stand and talk for a time. Now and then, someone walks by, but mostly we have quiet. The false stars crawl across the ceiling of the Nea. And that's not metaphorical, by the way. Well, they might see it as that, but it isn't. It's literal. Oh no, I'm fading out. I'm gonna faint. No. Alright. Archie's already at the table when I arrive. When he sees me come in, he gives a guilty start and scoops some of his stew back into the tureen. Took more than I'd a right to, but I had not eaten any yet. Apologies. So flirtatiously. I'll find a way for you to make it up to me, shall I? Oh, you'll be having me steal your porridge at breakfast, too. There was a lass who asked me to come around and look at her brother. A Jewish family. They usually go to their own doctor, but he is out of service, or ran away, or something of that ilk. Their old synagogue was destroyed in the fall, so they've moved to the Tenterground Synagogue. Rachel and David Landau. David has a stomach complaint. Chronic. Awful. Perhaps they have trouble cooking anything palatable, rather. It isn't easy these days with what we have. The sister's a beauty. She wouldn't leave the room while I saw to her brother. Is that usual? What was she doing? Kept watching me while I work, making notes in her wee book. Felt as I was being marked on my bedside manner. And the brother? Will he live? Oh, hi. For a bit I thought it might be serious. But what he needs is his stomach settled. I chewed diligently. When they got hungry, people turned inventive. All the pigeons around the St. Paul's they caught and plucked. More than one society lapdog was turned to stew. Dinner reaches an end. Haven't made any more progress here. Yeah. Person, David, Rachel, treated David Landau. And that's interesting. Ten days remain in the season of confessions. Another morning, another newspaper. The headlines today read, Severe destruction renders southwest of London impassable. Reports of a foreign population. That's interesting. Oh, shit. Alright. That seems good for today. I feel like this to have a bit shorter episodes, considering how short each day is. Yeah, a couple days. Each episode seems reasonable. Alright, so what... Alright. So what did we learn today? We learned that Lucian may have been erased from existence or something, which is entirely plausible. Although the fact that people still remember him is interesting. Yes, and we also learned that. Yeah, I'm curious. We also learned that the Masters are in fact collecting love stories for an unknown purpose. We have some potential theories for why he's doing it, but none of them seem likely. None of them seem sensible. I mean, there's... We'll have to, find more stuff about that. And to that end, I'll probably want to... we'll probably want to talk to the Landows. Why the Landows? Because they're the only people that I haven't really talked to yet. I suppose I could potentially discuss it with Harjit. He might know something or other. But I'll talk to Landows first. But, obviously before that I'll call it pass. But that's for next time. And yeah, next time we'll continue to piece together the story, I suppose. That's what this game is all about. Stories. But until then, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. So long, suckers.